So here are a few of the elements that I always use. I always end the retreat with the owner having the last word. Okay? We want to have that person feel great and leave feeling great. The next thing that I do is I have everybody, and we'll do it here. I have everybody at the end say, what have I learned? How do I think this team and organization is going to be different? That's it. 2 questions. Because they're universal, whole questions that will pick up what's on people's mind. That's what we end the retreat in. And before that, typically, I will have them prepare an elevator speech. You know what an elevator speech is? Summarizes in 2 or 3 minutes everything that happened at the retreat to tell the organization. Oh, and then because you're one of the young ones, the social media people, we will probably use Twitter all during the meeting and twit out communication to the whole organization about what's going on. Of course, that probably should be controlled by the HR person executive. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to send you know some of the tweets out there that have caused trouble in the world. Those tweets better be sensitive and right. Because when you're dealing with a whole system, and when you're dealing with a big meeting, you have to be very careful. For example, if I'm in a big meeting in Ghana, I better not make any humorous jokes that put somebody down. People are going to just turn me off. And so the organization will turn your retreat off if you send tweets that are not appropriate. And so there's many ways to use social media to communicate this. Another thing that I do in the retreat, my signature, since 1967, because I was doing appreciative inquiry before appreciative inquiry came. Dr. Cooper Ryder, who invented the word appreciative inquiry, is one of my 2 living gurus. And he's young and I'm old. And I read his thesis before it was ever accepted. And I said, this man is onto something. And I grabbed onto it. It's one of the most powerful executives in change today, except he's lost my respect. You can't get him to speak unless he gets $50,000. That does not fit my values. I knew that I could be a millionaire at the age of 30 doing this work. But I'm here in Ghana working for peanuts because I care about you. And I love you all. And that happened, the first transformation happened to me as I get chills in my spine when I was given this shirt in South Africa. When I was a part of getting rid of the white leadership at APSA. I have a tear. Because, thank you. I didn't expect that. Maybe we'll have to cut that out. But, okay. So this is the one thing I always have in my meeting. Every time. Why? Because it always works. Why should I change it? I give them to take home after dinner the last night all the positive feedback and results. They wake up in the morning giggling. They say, oh my God, you mean these people really appreciate me? And what happens is that, people learn about each other's strengths. The team becomes strengthened. And then I have them sit in a circle and I say, okay, now I want you to go around and tell every person what you appreciate about them. The longest this ever took was in government. The Department pollution control in Minnesota. Because most of those employees knew each other their whole life because they had hired each other's son. You know how government is, right? They had a lot to say. We started at 9 o'clock in the morning. There was food from breakfast right there. We did not take a break till 5:30. And we wore out a whole box of Kleenex because people were so appreciative of each other. And they started crying. And they couldn't stop. Okay? That's the power of positive change. I always do that. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do it here. I can't really do it because you don't know, you haven't been interactive with each other to give each other positive feedback. But we may do something. So, the other thing I want to say that I do is we come up with an action plan and a commitment plan. Actions are those things that somebody's responsible for. It's due at a certain time. For example, the performance management system will be revised by June 15th, and Jerry is in charge of it. And Alex is on the team, but Jerry's in charge. The second thing I have is commitments. I'll give you the one great one. I remember the team decided that they were going to stop talking about each other behind their back. Right? They all do it, don't they? Okay? And guess what? We came back 6 months later and no one had talked about anybody behind their back. That's a commitment. Or a commitment is, I'm going to empower my people. I'm going to trust. You know, it's general. It's a belief. It's an attitude. It's a behavior. From now on, I am going to not send any more emails that upset people. Emails can be very upsetting, you know. All right. There's many other little tricks and trades, but you'll discover those yourself. Now,